How are you doing today? This video is going to be a quick review of the Sailor Professional gear. This is the standard size, so it's not a slim. This is just the standard professional gear. So just some quick background on Sailor. It's a company that was founded in 1911 by Kyogoro Sakata. He was an engineer, and in 1911 he actually was shown a fountain pen by a British sailor and therefore created the Sailor Fountain Pen Company. Kind of interesting, it is one of the oldest fountain pen companies in Japan, and Sailor is located in Hiroshima, where it actually still remains today. The plant was spared by the nuclear bomb because it is not in the city center, and the topography and the mountainous area did shield the factory from the blast. So this is basically a flat top version of the 1911 series. See there, flat top and flat bottom. Sailor is known for their large amount of nib sizes, including their specialty offerings. This particular one is a 21 karat gold nib. There. See, it is a two-tone. Very pretty design. I have some Montblanc Toffee brown in there now, so that's what you see on the nib itself. So it's not a huge nib for this size, but it is a smaller pen. I'll kind of go into that in a little bit. But like I said, it's a 21 karat. In this case, it is a hard fine. So obviously, being a Japanese fine, it is a very fine point, as you can see there. Not much tipping material. Draws a very fine line. Is a Cartridge Converter pen. And kind of one of the knocks against Sailor is that the cartridges, there's just not much ink capacity. So they do seem to run out a little quicker than my other pens. Other thing I've noted is it seems like most of my Sailors are rather wet writers. One thing I do like on their pens is they have this rubber gasket, like a rubber O-ring. Gives a nice feel when you screw the body back on. Gives you a nice firm feel. It's very snug. So that's nice. One thing I do notice with these, and I have noticed with more than just this pen, the way they have this section, you can see you have the threads, and then you see you have this other little step right there. When the cap goes on, it goes over that step. Sometimes, I don't know what it is, kind of catches that lip and then goes over. Not all the time, just sometimes. But I have talked to other Sailor owners, they notice that as well. So just wanted to point that out, that sometimes it does feel a little weird when you get toward the end, but it does snug down fine and cap seals extremely well. There are different versions of the Pro Gear. There's a Pro Gear 2, which is a little longer, has taller ends on the cap and body. Like I said, most of my Sailors appear to be rather wet writers. But I do use this pretty regularly, especially with the fine nib. Does okay on normal copy paper. I ordered this pen directly from Japan, so I know there can be a significant cost savings if you go direct to Japan, deal with a Japan seller, and then bring it in yourself. You can usually save 30-40%, I found. So I just wanted to do a quick size comparison, then quick writing sample just to show you how fine this nib actually is. But let me go through some pretty common pens. So you got a 149. See, it is much longer, much wider. Pelican 805. Once again, a much longer, thicker pen. And then let's do a Custom 74. Pilot Custom 74. So you can still see a little bit smaller than a Custom 74. We've put the bottom of the end there, you can see there. So it's, you know, it's not a thin pen, but it is a short pen. You especially notice if you do not post your pens. So let me just give you a quick example here. When I hold this pen for writing, you can see I have men's large glove size hand. You can see I am pretty much at the limit of this pen being comfortable to write with without it being posted. So I really think, you know, it's not a problem, but it really is the limit. And I do not post my pens, so if it didn't work, I wouldn't use it. So, but it works fine. I use this on a daily basis. So the section's still not terribly small. I have no issues with it. One thing I noticed with these Sailor pens is there is a good heft to the section. There is metal in the section that holds the converter. It is just a nice heft. The weight is perfect on this pen. It just balances extremely nicely. So yeah, I'll just do the quick little sample here on the writing. And like I said, I will always use kind of junky paper because that's what I use all day at work. A lot of stuff that I just write notes and then ends up getting thrown out. So like I said, it is a hard fine, so there is no flex to this nib. And you can hear it does give quite a bit of feedback. And because it is a fine, I mean, there is a definite sweet spot. You do not want to roll off it or else it gets extremely scratchy. But like I said, this is a pen I use. Normal note taking. It is a very fine, controlled line. Okay, so this is a Montblanc Toffee Brown. You actually do get a little bit of shading with this ink. But, you know, it works great for printing, small writing. Not a pen I would use to write, you know, a letter or something extremely long, but for quick notes, something that I need to kind of do some proofreading, corrections, kind of write around. You know, it's a very, you know, you can write extremely small. Holds up quite well, so, you know, no bleeding or feathering. Works great on junk paper. So, you know, Japanese fine, probably an American extra fine. But just a great pen. It's a good workhorse pen. You can get them reasonably cheap. Like I said, if you just kind of purchase them from Japan and bring them in yourself. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know below. Thanks for watching.